A number of years ago, we had universal firearms registration in Canada, and it was registered with the government. It cost $2 billion to do it. And once the price became known, the program became extremely unpopular, even among non-gun owning people. And the ruling party at the time took a lot of heat over it. And gun owners managed to get another political party opposed to that program and promising to take it out of action if they were elected. And sure enough, they were elected several years later. They gained power and they scrubbed the entire thing. So we're hopeful that that can be repeated, because now we have that same government that instituted universal firearms registration, instituting a whole bunch of other firearms prohibitions. So including a freeze on handgun ownership and wanting to institute a ban and a buyback, which is actually forced confiscation, on what they call assault weapons or assault style weapons, which of course means any semi-automatic firearm with a detachable magazine.
So like the 1022s that they just did.
Yeah. The rim fires would be okay. So we're talking center fires with a detachable magazine, whether it's semi-automatic, it has to be semi-automatic, whether it's rifle or shotgun, doesn't matter. They want to classify them all as assault weapons and confiscate everything. They're saying they will pay for the guns, but they've been talking about it for 2 years now, and they don't, or maybe 2.5 years, and they don't even have a plan on how to do the buyback or the confiscation yet. A number of the provinces have told them, we're not participating, and our law enforcement agencies are receiving directions from the province not to participate in the buyback or in the confiscation, because they have other really serious crime problems to deal with, rather than seizing sporting and hunting guns from licensed, law-abiding gun owners.
Yeah, how does the gun law work if someone, say, breaks into your house and you use your firearm to defend yourself? Is that something that you can be punished for?
It depends. We do have the provision for self-defense being allowed in Canada. That is okay. The ramifications for a citizen defending himself with a firearm depends very much on the circumstances, on the law enforcement agency that is investigating, and even on the prosecutor who is looking after the case. Some of them are really good and they understand, and they will give the person the legitimate pass that is deserved in a lot of these cases, and others just don't seem to care. If you use the gun, you get charged with the use of the firearm in whatever way.
Now, do y'all have like a law that states how your firearms have to be stored, like your rifle or shotguns in one safe, your ammunition locked in another safe, or can you store them per se loaded? Like say you live in bear country.
Yes.
Can you store your firearms loaded in your safe or your ammunition in your safe?
They always have to be unloaded. If you live in an area where there's predators, then you can store them, at least one that is readily accessible, right? But it still has to be unloaded. And for the typical gun owner in Canada, firearms need to be locked up, at least rifles and shotguns. And it's just a matter of security, or safe storage. So there isn't any standard, as long as they are behind a lock of some kind. Another legitimate option is taking a bolt out, for example, and storing it under a lock, and the gun is then disabled, and that's okay. Handguns, We're still allowed to own handguns, but a new restriction that just dropped several months ago by, again, our unfriendly government that's in power is a handgun freeze. So all handguns market is now frozen. If I own a bunch of handguns, then I can't buy any more, and I can't sell or transfer the ones I do own to anybody else. The way it stands right now, I can export them, have them destroyed, or own them until I die, and then the government gets them.
And they're all registered with the government, correct?
Yes, handguns are all registered. They are.
Does Canada or your province, does individual provinces have like a law for being able to carry, like a permit carry system, where you can carry your handgun to protect yourself through there?
Right. There is some provision for that. There is even written in the law a provision for carrying firearms for defense against other people. So you have to make application for it, and you can get a concealed carry license. Last year we did a Freedom of Information request, and in Canada there was one person that had that license.
Wow.
Nobody else was given permission to carry that license. One person. We don't know who it is. We don't know what the circumstances were.
So is one of the provisions a justifiable need? Is that one of the things?
Something like that, yes. Yeah. Demonstrable need, right? So that's defense against people. Now, defense against animals is more common. Of course, we have lots of wilderness areas and people who operate in those areas. And there it is possible to get a permit to carry a handgun in the wilderness area, loaded on your hip in a holster. There's restrictions on how it's transported there. And once you're working in the bush, whether you're a timber cruiser or a prospector or a trapper, then there's allowances for that. For the typical hunter or even a hiker, like a recreational hiker, not a chance. You'll never get that. It's only
same
professionals.
woods, same animals, same woods.
Exactly. Yeah, it's only for professionals working in the wilderness.
It's kind of like their bias or stereotyping or something that group,
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you have anything else, Tony?
No, it's just frustrating because
Yeah.
I live with kind of the same thing in New Jersey. And when we talk to people about what can happen, they don't, oh, no, it can't. And I'm like, yes, it can,
Oh, yeah.
quickly. And then you have to figure out how to undo it.
Yes, exactly.
So, thank you very much, lady, for talking to us.
Yes. Unknown Canadian professional.
Unknown Canadian gun model.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate it.
And it's a Canadian hand model, what we have right
Yes,
here.
yes.
So,
Yes. Okay.
thank you very much.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you.